Hey guys, Gabe the Disciples here, and I have my deck profile from the UK Open last weekend. This is slightly late because I had a hectic week. Also sorry, this is a bit scuffed. This is Friday night, and I just remember, oh shit, I haven't done the deck profile, and it's irrelevant in a week, so I guess let's get it out, because we gotta get the views and the YouTube money. So yeah, I played the UK Open. It's very similar to the list that I played for YCSU track. Like it's like 2-3 cards different between. As the size changes a bit because it's U-Track is pre-double and the UK Open was post-double, so format changed a bit. But my deck didn't. It didn't practice at all. I just played the same thing and it worked out. So yeah, I mean I did well in U-Track. I would say like I lost last round in the bowl because of my misplay. And then did well in the UK Open, and we did well. Like I went like 5-1 the 3v3 as well. So like I really enjoy Runick Spright. I don't think it's playable next format, unfortunately, if they choose the cards, but it's been very fun to play with. It always feels like I have a better deck than my opponent, which is a nice feeling, right? So I guess main deck wise, let's kind of go for it. Sprites, I did triple blue, double jet, carrot red. I don't think you want to open too many sprites. We play very high Runick cards, so count. So the idea is just you just want to resolve Runick cards. Runick cards can get 2 sprite cards, right? So you just gotta get there. But it's pretty important to open at least one of those cards, I guess, and 3 starters kind of come in here. You want to open at least one so you can take your Hugin away from the EMZ. Because what happens sometimes when you draw like 5 Runick cards is that you can't get the Hugin away and make Gigantic and then activate another card to make another guy on top. But when you open like, even if you open like 3 Runick spells plus red, you can just Runick spell, pitch Runick spell, search fountain, special red, make Gigantic, activate fountain, Gigantic effect, chain Runick spell, and then you summon like a blue and you draw 3 from the Runick spell, from the fountain, and you trigger the blue card jet. So you need to draw one of them, but multiples are bad. They're also like kind of bad draws once you're already playing. So we ended up going for only Shujet. I think starter is better overall. We had like 2 starter at some point, but because we're mainly sphere mode and reciting to Lava Golem, having a card that just allows you to play just by itself is pretty important. So I really enjoyed this ratio. Also, like if you draw extra starters, it's better than drawing like extra blues or jets if you already went through them, because the extra starter can be a red or a carrot on your opponent's turn. So like it just works better overall. So no complaints here. And then the one smashers. Yeah. And then for the level 2s that aren't sprites, I did for the UK Open Double Aperia and the Soul Scissors. The Soul Scissors was a Metaphors Fusion for U-Track. Metaphors Fusion is probably a better card. This is 2 cents from Sprint. The cool thing is like you can end on like Sprint, Gigantic, Elf, Red, and you send Soul Scissors, and then whenever Red negates something, you can also like summon this and pop 1, or you can Elf summon this back and pop 1. If you're flashing fire something, this comes back and pop 1. And like sometimes you can overlay with it, so it keeps being a resource. But with Bystat in the form, it's kind of weird because it's dark, and your deck doesn't have anything you want to get Bystatted, so this gets hit by it like half the time. It's also not a great draw going second. You side this out like every time because you're putting a Lava Golem, so you want to cut in the normal summons. The one saving grace, I guess, that's a pitch for Hugin. So sometimes there's cool scenarios you can go like Runick card, summon Hugin, pitch this, flashing fire something, destroy, summon this back, pop 1, those 2 make Gigantic. So it's like a utility card. I don't think it's needed, but I just want to try it out, because I didn't test with this deck, like post-double, so I just did like some new things, like okay, I'm gonna try it out at the tournament and see how it goes. But yeah, and then Hyperion is just very good. I think you want to play Chuka to Desires, because it's kind of annoying if you banish both. It happened to one of my games. Then you had like nothing to keep summoning back and recurring advantage. I did Hyperia over. I did not want to play Capshaw, because I think Hyperia is consistently better going second. Like it's a lot better to go into a board normal Hyperia than it is to normal Capshaw, because Capshaw can get removed pretty easily, but Hyperia always cycles 1. So Capshaw has a higher ceiling if you play 1-1, but I value the going second of Hyperia more. I think like the scenario is like you want to Hyperia and you can go into Capshaw to get an extra draw or a game that you already won. It just like makes you win more. So yeah. And then the one going second card, the win button, sphere mode. I love this card so much. Really love this card. No one plays around it. It worked against Flunder. There's a fun game that I went. He ended on Statue and Ampen. And I went, okay, draw. Battle phase, right? And then Flunder is like, oh, evenly. So they flip the trap and they summon the guy, and make Apex Avian. And then you go like, yep, and then you play. So it's kind of live against Flounder, which is cool. And against the Mirror, it's pretty important because one of the best cards is the Mirror. The cool thing is this doesn't special summon, so you can draw it after you start or after Gigantic, and you can still clear boards because deck struggles should take monsters away from the board. And overall, I think it's just a better card than Lava Golem. Lava Golem has its Wind Up Kitten synergy, but I think that one's kind of fake. I don't play Kitten anyway, but even if I played Kitten, even if I played Golem, I wouldn't play Kitten. I think that synergy is just like, oh, it's very cute, but once you get to that point, it's whatever. So yeah. This was very, very good, like the whole day. Just goated card. I then Double Desires, which is kind of what differentiates our list from most Runick lists. Most people are not playing this card. I think this deck just benefits from having multiple cards in hand, because it's things you can discard for Hyugin. And there's a lot of good cards to draw into. You can draw into Tip, into Flashing Fire, into Starter, into Sphere Mode. You have to be careful in some matchups, because you want to take your sprites out before you pot, especially when you're going first. Like you want to take like blue out and carrot and red out before your desires. But even then, like you can just dig into your deck, go this, draw 2 Runick spells, draw into a lot. Because the more cards you draw, a lot means your fountain draws more, if you get what I mean, because you get to access more cards, so it's easier to make your fountain draw tree. And this card's like super, super good going second. I keep it in the Runick Mirror going second. I think it's insane. So this card was very, very good. Most people don't play it. Most people are shocked when I activate this, and I really, really enjoyed this. And then we do Triple Fountain. We play a very high Runick card count, and we play Desires, so Triple Fountain really makes sense. Also, like you can resolve 2 in a turn, and when you're playing this deck, a lot of the times people try to stop Hyugin from resolving, so Hard Drawing Fountain punishes that pretty well. And yeah, when you side some Runick cards out, you also side one of the fountains, but no complaints here. And then Runick cards: 3 Destruction, you're the bad ones. 3 Slumber, 3 Tip, 3 Curses, 3 Flashing Fire, and then the Wankers, 1 Dispelling, 1 Golden Droplets, and 1 Smithing Storm. So we are on 18 Runick spells. 15 are pretty self-explanatory, they're good ones. And then 1 each of those. The main, like, for example, this card, never ever you activate the effect, its actual effect, but the idea is that just by having different names, it's less likely that you dead draw them. There's even an argument you could play like another bad one over Slumber, because drawing 2 Slumber is pretty bad. Like drawing 2 of the dead one of the, because like those are like the bad ones. Like Slumber is less bad, but these 12 have effects. These are kind of shit. So drawing multiples of those is kind of bad, and so there's an argument to play cut a Slumber to play 1 more of those. But Slumber is like somewhat real, like it does protect sometimes. A lot of times people go Battle Phase strike here, I often go like, ha, Slumber, and it wastes their Battle Phase. So it has utility. But yeah, I really like the high Runick count. It just means you can constantly be applying pressure. It also makes your 3 fountains better, because you can just go like, they end on a board, you Flashing Fire something, you Freezing Chain something, you Fountain, you Summon, then you draw 3. And then this draw 3 is what makes your deck win, and you draw more the more Runick cards you play, right? So yeah, no regrets here. This is super, super good. Shout out to Smithing Storm. I decked out 2 people in neutral with Smithing Storm. There's a Paleo tier match that this banished 9. So yeah, I think this card is pretty cool. Dispelling came up a couple times as well. But yeah, this is 40. It's pretty self-explanatory. I want to play 40 because I want to draw the good cards, like drawing Tip and Desires, Starter, Sphere Mode. You just want to be in lower card end. Side deck, I played Die 5 for UK Open. I didn't play for Utrecht, and it was definitely a mistake. This card was nuts. Like every time that I drew this card, I just activate like, ha, now what? Like even Tier can make a board. If they don't end on Spawn Trap Negate, can just activate Die-Fi and start playing. Because they can't do anything. No cards touch the graveyard. So this is super, super good. This is one match against Tier that he opened busted, but it was like, ha, Die-Fi. I started going second. There's one game against Mathmech as well. Like just went first into Mathmech, full comboed, and then at some point I drew this like, ha, Die-Fi. So very, very good card. Should have played it for Utrecht. Definitely a mistake. And then Bystads, also a new thing. Oh, there is the other one, the Druid's Worm, because I took it off the deck because it's another deck. But I played 3 and 1. These cards are very, very good as well. They're big bodies. They also they're good draws when you go first, so it's a nice thing to side in going first against Tier. And honestly, really enjoy those cards. A lot of the times against here, resolving a Magnemite feels like you just win, because you already have like such advantage, and you can summon Magnemite, and what I do a lot is just like, I go battle phase, and I use this to clear something, because I have no value for my battle phase anyway, right? So I can just use this to clear something, and then play on main phase too. And you get the extra Druid Swarm, you can link it off into Dark. Cool thing you can do against tier sometimes is like, it happened at one of my games, they normal summoned Merly, they milled 3 and they hit a tier, so I Magnemite banished it and he passed. So I drew for turn, and then I summoned Druisworm that I searched, right? So summoned Druisworm, battle phase, attack. Main phase 2, I link both into Dark, I went Dark, take his Merly hit like 2 spells, and then I went Gigantic, summon a guy, and then I went Fountain, activate Runick card, drop 3. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, those cards are pretty busted. Oh, I think I took a Lava Golem away. Yep. And then I side Lava Golem, mostly with main Sphere mode, main Lava Golem side Sphere mode. I just do the other way around. I think Sphere mode is more impactful, but Lava Golem's still good. Yeah, side against tiers and other matchups. Just good card. This is pretty underwhelming this weekend for me, evenly. So most tier in the room seem to be playing Blazing Cartesia and High Spirits, so they were ending on Baron more reliably, so I wasn't even siding this in. I was just siding Bystats, Lava Golem, and Di-Fi. So maybe this card should be something else. It's very good for me at Utrecht though, because people that back then never ended on Spot Trap Negate unless they search Crime. But yeah, this probably could have been something else, it wasn't great. It's also sometimes a dead draw once you're already playing. And then one Duster, very good card, very good draw as well. You want to play good cards to draw in this deck, that's pretty important. And then I sided for UK Open the Double Cross, but for Utrecht it was a Second Smashers. I put this card in sometimes. I think the only effect I used was the Reborn one. Probably should have been a Second Smashers. Although, okay, there is one argument for this card. It's actually pretty good when you get D-Shifter, because you can end on this. So, fair enough, I take that. Yes. And there was one Imperm. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I had 14 cards, right? Like, because I cut the things from Utrecht. I had Eradicators. So I took I had Eradicators and I had something else. I don't remember exactly. But like, I had 3 Imperm in Utrecht, that was it. So I had those. And I wanted to side the Bystats and Di-Fi, so I had like one spot and I didn't know what to do, and I had to submit my deck list, so I just said, frick it, let's do one Imperm. I think I drew it once. I don't remember it being relevant. And then extra deck, double Hyogin, Gary, Fracky. Love Fracky. Don't think it was ever summoned. Well, it was summoned, but never for its own effect. Like, just summon it on Link 12. Probably should have been a third Hyogin. It was a third Hyogin for Utrecht. I just wanted to try this card out. It's kind of cool because it's 2k, so like you can also just go like battle phase, run a card, attack over something. It's the best champ blocker of them all because it's 2k. You don't take damage on battles, including it, and when it dies, you got a quick playback. But it wasn't too relevant. 3 Hyogin just makes playing like less stressful because you know you have a third. Sometimes what you do a lot is that you make Gigantic and you go Gigantic effect and you chain a Runick spell to summon, and then you just summon this. Because you can just link it off in 12. So yeah, probably should have been third Hyogin. Double Gigantic and Onibimaru for the Exceeds. I like Onibimaru, it's another way to remove monsters from the field, and that struggles to do so. It's also very important when you get half in his turn 1 to be able to do this, banish their guy and then link it off. And Double Gigantic is all you need. I did Triple Elf, and I don't think you actually need Triple Elf. If you play carefully, 2 is probably enough. But there's not much that I wanted in the extra deck. Maybe a Pit Knight, because I played Sprint, so I could probably have used a Pit Knight. I played a Pit Knight for Utrecht over Sprint. Maybe just play 2 Elf and a Pit Knight. Pit Knight is very good against Flunder specifically, so that matchup you kind of need it. But yeah, Elf is very good. I don't know what to say other than that. And then I play Unicorn, IP, and Avramax. I chose Avramax as a big link guy because it just beats tier sometimes. You're in a bad position, just summon this and they just sweat. IP is pretty cool because you can also just make Unicorn during their turn. You have the flexibility. You can also make Sprint during their turn and dump Soul Scissors. It happened once. And then the Sprint, it's cool. Like, okay, the scenarios at 7 Sprint, like sometimes you do Soul Scissors. There's one game that I got Reapered for Red Resonator, and I sprint dump it and then elf summon it back, which was pretty funny. But yeah, the card like has some cool utility. Also, it's cool like if you end on Sprint and Gigantic and you summon a Bystat, you can detach from the Gigantic and bounce your Bystat, so you keep like the resource against tier in the grind game. So that came up. I think it's a cool card. And then one Dark, because you can Dark take Merly, also make some weird hands into Gigantic, because you can like, if you have like a guy and this, you can go Dark take anything, make Elf, summon back. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It comes up from time to time. I think the main utility from Dark is in the tier matchup. You go Dark, take their Merly, and you mill 3. And usually this mill 3 will include at least one Runick card and sometimes something on Elf Revive. So it has that utility there. Or like you can also hit Fountain, and then if you summon Gary after, instead of going healing pitch, you can just Gary at back Fountain, which seems nice. So yeah, it was a bit rushed, but I'm in a hurry. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It was very fun to play. Thanks to everyone that I played in the UK Open. I had a very fun weekend. Well, that's a lie. I dislocated my finger on the Friday before, so I was complaining about it the whole event for the people that are aware, watch the stream. But everyone that I played was super nice. People offered me water, people offered me food because it looked like I was dead. And at the end I won it, so it was a fun experience overall. Shout outs to Niall for letting me sleep at his because I missed my train back, so I had to come back on Sunday. And to all the guys that were there and cheered on me. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.